I wanted to do a light, well, probably not light, kind of in depth for some, of what the offseason was like for the Knicks. First and foremost, it's going to start with, we lost to Indiana, which was not easy. It wasn't easy losing, and although it looked easy. And it wasn't telling of the whole season. I think a lot of it was unexpected, even as talented as a team as we were. Us getting that bar, us getting past Boston. It really started with acquiring Towns, having Bridges. It really just changed the expectations for the team, and we struggled from the beginning with a lot of those expectations. But suddenly against Boston, we began to overachieve, really. And I think from there, and for a lot of teams, this was probably the thought process. And it was my thought process too. It was a phrase that I was saying a lot, which was beat the champ and be the champ, right? Because Boston was the defending champion. But honestly, it was more to it because we just were not ready for Indiana. And when we play Indiana and we lose the way we do, we also got the way we lost. We just didn't look like we would be prepared to even play OKC if for whatever reason we couldn't get past Indiana. But in the end, we couldn't get past Indiana. Still thought it was a great season. It was an exciting season. It was a fun season. And then from there, it was kind of like reflect, rebuild. What are the issues? All year long, you've had some odd moment comments from the Iron Man Bridges himself saying, well, we're playing a lot of minutes here. Josh Hart did a lot of arguing on the sideline with Tom Thibodeau, which I think some people can just attribute to being common, but I didn't see it as so common, and I thought we were running in a way that really wasn't helpful for a lot of the players, especially Towns. Towns played for Tom Thibodeau before and bumped heads, and I thought he really didn't utilize Towns for the gifts and the things that he does have. He kind of exposed a lot of what Towns doesn't have. Not to knock Towns. He's awesome. I'm not trading him for anybody. But we couldn't get over it. In the end, I think the organization decides for us. And of course, we speculated and we chanted for different players when we were up 20, and Tom Thibodeau never flinched to put a lot of guys in. And he ends up being the guy on the out. Immediately, I thought to myself, well, we're probably going to end up with Jason Kidd because Dallas looks like they're just too silly to keep somebody so good with them. And Jason Kidd, of course, spent some time with the Knicks at the end of his career in a way that made it feel like he wanted that Knick action. But once there became a criteria for expectations and a relationship with the front office was necessary, I said, whoa, I don't see Jason Kidd conforming to any of that. I think it's going to be Mike Brown. And then boom, it was Mike Brown. Later, Clarkson gets a buyout, who I consider probably the top free agent available this summer. And the Knicks get him. And I thought we would get him because I felt like he had an affinity for New York. He really is a fashionable guy. This is the home of fashion. Fashion Week happens here. He stars in it. And he comes on down. We get him. And the Knicks are rolling. We're making the best moves that I think any other team is making. There's some LeBron rumors because Towns and him have the similar contract. I wasn't interested in LeBron. I'm glad we're sticking with Towns. Westbrook was out there. Landry Shamet was out there. Brogdon was out there. We end up jumping into Summer League. Summer League was pretty good for the Knicks. I thought Tyler Kolek showed out in a good fashion. There was a Giannis rumor out there. It ended up getting tagged over to Bridges. I don't see how you swap those guys and how you make it make sense. I wasn't interested in it. I'm still in the mind frame of, listen, we just have to make some minor tweaks. I didn't think Indiana played that much better than us. I just really thought they played better as a team. And they definitely don't have the talent that we have. We just have to, again, play better as a team. We can't think beat the champ, be the champ. We have to just make sure we're trying to beat everybody and we're at the top of our game. Just like that. Pablo Prigioni rumors out there for coaching staff. Yes, we end up with Mike Brown. Mike Brown fires everybody. I didn't see anybody even competent to take over as an interim coach mid-season if Tom Thibodeau had got fired mid-season, honestly. It just didn't seem like anybody had that passion and control to really control these guys the way Tom did. So if he stepped aside, I thought his whole staff had to. And that's exactly what they did. And that was good. We filled it in with some guys. A guy that spent some time coaching with Villanova. Of course, we got the Clarkson. All types of rumors were out there. Mikal Bridges, of course, signs. We're good. We locked him in. That was so beautiful. I think a lot of people, listen, those two defensive plays versus Boston is what gets him that money. And it's beautiful. He deserves it. He completes the team with Josh Hart. He is the 2 guard. And with him at the 2, he could do 48 minutes in the playoffs. Now, in the regular season, hopefully they give him 35, 38 on average so that he's got it in him to go hard in the playoffs and stay on the court if necessary, and he can handle it. The money works now. Everything works, right? Because Towns is secured, OG's secured, Bridges is now secured, Hart is pretty secure. Brunson, he's on a 4-year. The Knicks, they've got a relationship with Kith. Kith has a fashion show in the summer. They're showing us Ewing gear. It's great because Ewing has a bigger relationship with the Knicks now. He's there pretty often. So I really love that. And Clarkson, he was working out in the summer with Ian Jackson, and that guy is a superstar. He's going to be at St. John's. He was on UNC last year. I'm going to love seeing him get that burn. The free agency is still lingering, and guess what? We get Yabusele. Yabusele is awesome. That's the guy who dunked on LeBron. I love to say that because I respect LeBron, but he's a supervillain over here when he comes to New York. So I'm glad we got a guy who dunked it on him. Maybe he'll dunk it on him in Madison Square Garden. That would be great. Simmons was out there. Ben, good luck to you in your career. He rejected our offer of the veterans minimum, which is beautiful. It opens the door for the Landry Shamet, and we're still able to get Brogdon, who I just did not see staying out there so long that he's willing to take a veterans minimum with the Knicks. And now, while he's with the Knicks and we were able to give him that non-guaranteed contract, I think he's going to show out. He's going to grind in training. He's going to grind in the preseason, and he's going to end up on the team. You've got to make the room for him. You've got to figure out how to make the money work. Right there, our depth went all the way up. The bench that we used to have, listen, Deuce McBride was strong off the bench. I always loved Deuce. I'm always Deuce. And now you have Shamek, Clarkson, Brogdon, and Yubusele. And Brogdon is probably going to be the first up at backup point guard because he can really run the show. And now you have a guy who can really play a two-man game and become an Eric Snow to Brunson. You know what I'm saying? You see the analogy. He's a little AI-ish. Who's going to get traded? I don't even want to speculate too much. But it's looking pretty good for the Knicks. And now we have the Sixers on the menu. The Sixers are going to be limping into Abu Dhabi. And it's really the theme that's going to happen for the Knicks the whole first half of the year. A lot of teams are limping towards us. And we got to stay healthy. And we're going to do it by just really evening out minutes, giving guys a break. Somebody's legs feeling sore, don't run through it. Relax. We've got some other guys to lean on. And I really think that Karl Anthony Towns is going to get some offense run through him. I didn't see a single play for Karl Anthony Towns. I felt like he was the trailer on a play that they would give it to, and he would decide to shoot the ball at the three-point line or go from like half court all the way to the basket with 3-4 dribbles at his size and his size speed. And going up against double teams was just way too much work, like so work intensive for him to try to score. And, you know, Mike Brown has hinted at what the offense is going to be like. And it just sounds like it's going to be up tempo, a lot faster, give and goes. I expect to see some three-man weave from the way he has shown how he's running practice. And it's going to be beautiful because Josh Hart could push it down people's throats. He is willing to work all the way to the paint and still kick it out to three. That it's just going to be such a great, strong thing if you allow guys to get easy buckets on backdoor passes and a simple kind of old school game, and then still know that, yeah, you're building off of what Tom Thibodeau did, which was made these guys very strong to be able to handle one-on-one, slowed down games and win and kill at their matchup. Like Brunson kills at his matchup on a nightly basis. So if you started off with them easy buckets, those layups, give me fresh legs, get in the court, run it out, man, we're just going to be a very strong team this year, I think. Like, it's going to be hard to stop us. And it's going to be very exciting to see when we're not the underdogs. And you've got guys like Marbury around the team now, who I saw him in the end towards the playoffs. And I'm really happy that Stephon Marbury is in Dubai with guys like Karl Anthony Towns, who have to deal with all the criticism, all the hate that a guy like Towns has to deal with. He has to deal with people nitpicking his defense, nitpicking his voice, and he's got to play right through it and just lean on his strengths. And I think Marbury, who overcame a lot after dealing with a lot of hatred from Knicks fans and Knicks media, it's just really going to help him and a lot of the other guys just stay leveled and play their game and go to the next level. And yeah, I'm thinking championship this year, really. Minimum Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals is the minimal, I think.